Three Billy Goats Gruff is a Norwegian fairy tale. The fairy tale was collected by Peter Christen Asbjørnsen and Jørgen Mo in their Norske Folkeeventyr, first published between 1841 and 1844. It has an eat me when I'm fatter plot. The story introduces three male goats, sometimes identified in the story as youngster, father and grandfather, but more often described as brothers. In other renditions, there is a baby or child goat, mama goat and papa goat. In any case, there is no grass left for them to eat near where they live, so they must cross a river to get to a zata, or hillside on the other side of a stream in order to eat and get fat. To do so, they must first cross a bridge, under which lives a fearsome troll who eats anyone who passes that way. The smallest billy goat is the first to cross and is stopped abruptly by the troll, who threatens to gobble him up. The little goat convinces him to wait for another slightly bigger billy goat to come across because he is larger and a more gratifying feast. The greedy troll agrees and lets the smallest of the goats cross. The medium-sized goat passes next. He is more cautious than his brother, but is also stopped by the troll and given the same threat. The second billy goat is allowed to cross as well after he tells the troll to wait for the biggest billy goat because he is the biggest. The third billy goat then gets on the bridge and is stopped by the hungry troll. When the troll gets up on the bridge, however, the third billy goat is so big that he easily kicks the troll off the bridge. The troll falls into the stream. From then on the bridge is safe, and all three goats are able to go to the rich fields around the summer farm in the hills. They all live happily ever after. The troll still lives under the bridge, but has not bothered anyone again. Adaptations and cultural references. The first version of the story in English appeared in 1859, in George Webdesen's translation of some of the Norske Folkeeventyr, published as Popular Tales from the Norse. A version of the story written and performed by Frank Luther was often played on the BBC radio programme Children's Favourites in the 1950s and early 1960s. The story was adapted by Gwen Edwards into a popular children's musical at Barter Theatre in Abingdon, Virginia, in the summer of 2007. It was called Billy Goat Gruff, the musical. A chamber music setting for string quintet and narrator was composed by James Scott Ballantyne for the Cactus Pear Music Festival Kinderconcerts, with the text adapted by Stephanie Santa unregistered trademark Ambrogio, published by Gildian Music. In 2008, the BBC created a modern adaptation for its fairy tale season. In this, the story was given a twist in that the troll was presented as a tragic, cruelly maligned victim. The troll character is dirty and smelly and everybody is frightened of him, and I think that heightens the pathos of the ending, because unregistered trademark SA Witch Hunt, without any evidence. Neil Gaiman adapted the story for Snow White, Blood Red, an anthology of children's fairy tales retold for adults. In Gaiman's version, the troll approaches a young boy who has crossed his bridge and demands to eat his life. The boy eventually persuades the troll to wait until he has lived a little more, after which he will return to the bridge. The goats in this adaptation are represented by the protagonist as a child, a teenager and finally a middle-aged man. The story was nominated for a 1994 World Fantasy Award. In the Norwegian film The Troll Hunter, the titular character attempts to bait a troll by placing three goats on a bridge. The 2011 Kickstarter-funded film Absentia by Mike Flanagan is a modern-day retelling centered around a tunnel, a series of abductions, and a troll-like creature. Lazy Bee Scripts published Billy Goat Gruff, a simple play for young children in 2009. http://www.lazybeescripts.co script ASPX ISS = 137, the song Much Chubbier by nerdcore rapper MC Frontalot on his 2014 album Question Bedtime is a retelling of the story. Team Juan at the Duncan of Jordanstone College of Art and Design at the University of Dundee produced a version with a Spanish twist on the story, The Three Billy Pia Plus or Minus Arters in 2015. In a segment about Peyton Trolls on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, it referenced with Trolls Actually Do Something, they controls bridge access for goats and ask people fun riddles. Literature. There are many references to this story in English literature, including Terry Pratchett's Discworld novel Lords and Ladies and Stephen King's It. The comic book Fables by Bill Willingham contains mention of the goats, and the troll is an ongoing character. The Billy Goats Gruff make an appearance in Small Favor, 10th book of the Dresden Files series by Jim Butcher. The tale also comes into play during the first King's Quest game. A troll is guarding a bridge Graham needs to cross. The optimum solution to the puzzle is to lure a goat over to the bridge. Upon seeing the troll, the goat is angered, and puts it into the river below. The tale is also included in Simon the Sorcerer. The tale is the inspiration of the novel The Adventures of the Billy Goats Gruff by Kevin P. Futers. The book is set in 7th century Northumbria and the goats are named Edgar, Bert and Frith. The Scholastic version is 2 alternative book versions with the illustrations of Susan Blair and Ellen Appleby. It is available on record. It is also available on cassette. The narrator is Bob Thomas. The music was composed by Arthur Rubinstein. A reference to the tale is made in the 2011 game Skyrim. The player character is able to see 3 goats running away from a bridge under which a dead troll can be found. There is a retelling of the story in Andri Snare Magnuson's children's book Tarmakisten. The variant features a kid, its mother, and her husband. When the mother goat tells the troll to eat her husband instead of her, the troll lost his appetite. "What's the world coming to?" he cried. "The kid tells me to eat its mother, and she tells me to eat her husband. Crazy family." The troll goes home leaving the goats uneaten. References. External links, Norwegian version, EPUB and audiobooks in Speaks format available. Sur la Lune website, annotated 3 Billy Goats Gruff in the version from Peter Christen ASBJARNSEN and Jar GN Mo, Popular Tales from the Norse George Webb Descent, translator. Edinburgh, David Douglas, 1888. 3 Billy Goats Gruff with other regional variations and 122 stories.